text, and drive. All right, I'm so excited to welcome to the show our next guest. We have Sandy Middleton, who is the Executive Director for the Center of Violence Prevention. Sandy, you've been on before. We're so glad you're taking some time to sit down with us today. Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right, so a few things I certainly want to discuss with you, but there is an upcoming event on Thursday.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that event, what it is, what's going on, and who you expect to turn out?
Sure. Yeah, we're really excited about the event Thursday night. It's the 44th annual Squat and Gobble. It's held at the Jackson Country Club. It's hosted by a wonderful group called Friends for a Cause. So many people in the metro know Tommy Turk. This is his group, and they do so much good work in the community. So this is our annual event that all the proceeds go to support domestic violence and human trafficking efforts in the metro. And so it is Thursday night from 5:30 until 10 at the Country Club. Food and drink, a dance contest. You haven't seen anything until you've seen the turkey calling contest. It's pretty hilarious. But and then we have live and silent auction. The guest speaker, keynote speaker, is Lake Speed. A lot of people might remember him. He was a NASCAR driver, and so the people around this part might know him. And then Miss Mississippi, and then to close out the night is Dr. Czar's Amazing Funk Monster Machine, and they always bring out a big crowd, and we have a lot of fun with them every year. So we're really excited about the event and encourage people to come.
Yeah, that sounds like a really amazing event. I have to imagine there's a lot of expert turkey callers in these parts. That's got to be one of the most high stakes competitions in Mississippi.
Yeah, and we tried to get Gerard out on the dance floor for the dance contest last year, but he wouldn't consent. So we just let him judge. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, maybe it just takes a little bit of persistence. Keep asking him, and maybe he'll eventually get out there. Now, is the dance contest? Is it a particular style to a particular song?
No, it's pretty much freestyle. So, and by that time of the night, I do mean freestyle.
All right. So, lots of good times to be had at the upcoming Squat and Gobble. If folks want to find out more information other than what you just said here on the interview, where can they go?
The best place to go is Facebook. The Friends for a Cause has a page, and they're updating it with all sorts of information. There'll also be an online link for the silent auction that people can actually participate in. So that's the best place. And like I said, it's Friends for a Cause on Facebook.
And all of the proceeds and everything will go to the Center for Violence Prevention.
Yes, and other efforts in the metro for domestic violence and human trafficking.
Well, again, I encourage folks who aren't already signed up or planning to go to check it out. It'll be a great event and for a really good cause. And frankly, a topic, it's not what we always want to talk about. We don't want to think about human trafficking and domestic violence occurring in a place like Mississippi, known for its hospitality, but the reality, it does exist in our backyard. Could you paint the picture for us, the unfortunate picture, but what is the state of this going on in Mississippi, and what are some of the leading efforts out there to try and either fix or provide support to those who are unfortunately dealing with it in real time?
Well, first, I just want to say how much we appreciate SuperTalk keeping this issue out there in the public, and thank you so much for the commitment to have these conversations. We've been able to hold a lot of informational interviews here and get the word out as far as, just what you were talking about. What is human trafficking? Where is it? How do I recognize it? What do I do about it? So we certainly are very grateful to SuperTalk for that. So as far as what we're seeing, the Center for Violence Prevention saw about 1,500 victims last year through our rapid response and services for specifically for human trafficking. Last year, we saw 223 victims of human trafficking. 180 of those were adults and 43 were children. And so what that looks like, we have two separate pieces to our human trafficking program. The first is our rapid response, which we have 10 rapid response advocates that are certified and who live all over the state of Mississippi, so they can quickly respond with law enforcement or to a medical facility or wherever the report comes from. These advocates can respond on an emergent basis and screen that victim and determine what the primary needs are at that moment, and also just come alongside them and help them to make good choices about what do we want to do next. Do you want to come into the tower, into the long-term program? Do we want to transport you back home? Maybe it's a situation where they were trafficked out of another state. Or if they need to go into some sort of treatment, drug treatment, or be evaluated from a mental health standpoint. So being there emergently is the key to finding these victims and getting them into help and recovery. We know that because we watched it all over the country when we were formulating our program, and it's just essential to be there immediately. So that's one of the key parts. And then our rapid response advocates are able to form these wonderful working relationships with our law enforcement partners and in the medical community as well. So that's a kind of a snapshot. Then we have our Tower program, which is our long-term program for adult women who are victims of human trafficking. And they can actually come and live there in the shelter, and we're able to come wrap around everything, every sort of service they could possibly need, whether it's therapy, medical, legal, case management, advocacy. And then we also focus on the holistic healing for them. And so they have a lot of opportunity to heal, a lot of choices when it comes to how they want to approach their recovery and their restoration. So the tower stays really busy. We can house up to 12 at a time. And then we also have a transitional housing program so that we can stay with these victims. And it's not unusual for us to maintain a relationship with these clients for 5 years, 8 years, even 10 years. So it's really a wonderful program that's very effective.
Yeah, and it's amazing work. It's necessary work. I was going to ask as you were talking, do folks tend to show up at the center, or are they brought there through your relationships with the hospitals and first responders and police forces? How is it that folks know of the center, know it's a place that they can actually go, and then how do physically they get there? People who are in really dire situations, how do they end up at your front door where they have access to this breadth of resources?
Well, that's a great question. We try to maintain confidentiality as far as the location of our shelters because, for the safety of our clients moving forward. So we discourage somebody just showing up at the place. What we try to do is, especially with human trafficking, we try to go to them in a safe location because it might be that they need to go to a hospital immediately, or they might need to go to some sort of detox center immediately. So we try to meet them somewhere else, and then if it's appropriate for them to come into services, then we either go transport them or have one of our law enforcement partners transport them safely to the center.
Yeah, that's really great. And so you're probably operationally, you get support from the state, and then also depend on the donations from the general public. How does that work from an operational perspective?
We are primarily funded by federal grants. The Mississippi legislature has been wonderful the last couple of years to step up and give us some state funding, which it allows us to operate the statewide response through the rapid response advocates.
Well, a well and wise investment indeed. Sandy Middleton, thank you so much for joining us, the Executive Director of the Center for Violence Prevention. It really is God's work, helping the most vulnerable within our community. We don't like to think about these bad things happening, but they do. you and your center are there to take care of them and help people get from a bad situation to a better one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your work. Yes, and reminder for folks who are curious about finding out more about the Squat and Gobble event on Thursday to check it out on Facebook. We've got to take a quick break here on Super Talk Middays. I'm Mandy Gunasekara filling in for Gerard this afternoon, but stay tuned. We've got more